Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updated news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, today's video, I would like to discuss the topic of the employment sponsor visa. Now, obviously, from the migration review report earlier this year, we noted that obviously the test limit has been increased to 70,000 per annum, but there's also an introduction to the removal of the occupation list, and it looks like a more open scenario approach, and also the abolishment of the labor market testing, well, which is still there currently. I think by the second half of this year they're going to remove it anyway. So we believe that there will be a definite information about employment sponsor, and it will be a trend coming up for it as well. But what I would like to discuss today is about the attitude, right? The attitude about getting employment and working in Australia. Now, why do I want to discuss this? Now, obviously, it's if you want to get work, you go and get a job offer, interview, accept the interview, and go to work. As usual. But because this employment sponsor visa, obviously related to potential pathway, which the migration review report said that if you employed and work for a continuous of 2 years, you'll be eligible to transfer into permanent resident. Now, a lot of people then will have this mentality where they think, well, look, let's just find an employer, find a job, get a job in Australia and work 2 years and I become permanent resident, then I should leave the job and the work and go elsewhere. Now, you probably understand what I'm trying to say, and a lot of your friends, your viewers' friends, may have this kind of mentality, correct? Now, obviously, let's look at the actual law. It's a piece of legislation that well, they're gonna remove the occupation list. So I don't think there's gonna be any short term or medium term in the future. But let's have a think about the foundations, the fundamental of how this visa was created. Obviously, the visa is created to assist the Australian employer to find the skilled migrants they need, obviously to enhance the economy. All right, so every country around the world will have a similar type of visa where they get the skilled migrants to the region and work for them, and obviously boost the economy to replace where the locals, the domestic workers, they probably will. Well, some places like agricultural industry, primary production industry, there's a lot of a shortage. Well, basically because most of the population and the youth have already relocated to the urban areas, so they need people to work there. Now, once we understand this, the employer obviously will have the right to lodge and become employer to sponsor migrant worker, and we also need to know that there is a potential exploitation where the current government is looking to legislate relevant law to prevent the exploitation of migrant workers. So there's even a jail term. I have done a video on this one previously, so I'm not going to go into detail there. But again, let's come back to what we're going to discuss today is what is your mentality and how should you prepare the attitude towards getting an employment visa. So obviously you should really just prepare your mentality as you are there to find a good job and you wanted to work long term, not just a short term, not aiming at the goal where 2 years later, once you get a PR, you're gonna leave. Because this kind of mentality business owner, they're smart. They can sense it. Once they sense it, obviously, how they're gonna treat you. Obviously, they provided they don't exploit you, but they probably won't like an employee working with such mentality. Well, obviously, you wanna put yourself into the shoes of the business owner, the Australian business owners. If you're the business owner, you don't want someone to come here with a mentality that knowing that they're gonna leave 2 years later, right? So this is the thing, business owner will know, will sense it, will sense your attitude straight away, okay? And how we gotta understand, even 2 years later, when you want to transfer to become a permanent resident, you still need your boss to actually sign the paperwork, allow you to nominate and go through that permanent residency application again. So I'm not saying that you need to behave, but I'm not also saying that this will be the tactic that the employer can actually exploit the skilled migrants as well. But let's put aside of this, you should really have a very healthy mentality that you're there to find a good job and work and stay for long term, because that is a win-win situation. You don't want to create something that you potentially making your employer become an enemy of you. For you, I mean, that's just not gonna get you anywhere. You gotta understand, and the culture in the working environment and culture in the Western society, referral potential is very important. Now, even if you do so, work with this employer, work with this job for 2 years, and then you got permanent residency and you left the post. Now, once you want to find the next job or work, now the employers usually will require to get a reference. Now, under your CV or resume, you have a reference. They wanted to find out where you worked before. They can call up your previous boss or email or contact your previous owner or manager. And guess what? If what they respond towards how you actually behaved previously was not satisfactory, that will also strike your career as well. So the message that I want to deliver today is that you really need to have a healthy mentality and attitude towards getting an employment sponsor visa. Because, well, why do I want to create this video? I've just seen too many people and receiving too many messages, and I can tell straight away these people have the mentality that they only want to work for specific period of time, and once they get the opportunity to get permanent residency, they're gonna leave. Now that is just not a good way to deal with your visa, and obviously for business owner, they don't like that as well, and that also creates dispute. Now, you don't want to go to a new settling country and having the first thing is to dispute between your employer and employee. That is not a good start anyway. Anyway, should you have more question query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.